Auburn Blitz is now on the air, your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Auburn Blitz here on this Monday. Brett and Randy here with you, and our program brought to you by Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores, J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation, and Sensa Green. Glad to have them as our corporate partners here on the program. You can call us, as always, at 256-234-6221, but go out and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd love to have you subscribe so you can get that notification every day, especially on Facebook as well. You can do that, and you can comment away through YouTube and Facebook, so we appreciate all of you that find us that way. But you know, the old traditional way on TV, we appreciate all of you that tune us in that way. And coming to you on a Monday after a big Auburn win. Haven't been able to say that in quite some time when it comes to the football program. And Auburn wins 43-41 over Texas A&M. Texas A&M still alive. Believe it or not, with an 8-3 record, if they knock off Texas, they go to the SEC championship game to play Georgia, and if they win the SEC championship game, they make it in the playoffs with automatic bid. So still alive for them. Now the path's a little bit tougher because of the loss to Auburn, but they still do have everything in front of them. On the flip side, and we'll go through the conference, we'll go around and talk about games from this past weekend because it was absolutely wild. Ole Miss fell to Florida. Alabama got knocked off by Oklahoma, which pretty much, I mean, I think maybe there's a smidget maybe of a chance for Alabama. I don't think there is. The college football playoff rankings will come out tomorrow. So we'll just kind of wait and see what that says, Randy. But I think that one was the nail in the coffin.
Well, the 12 teams, though, Brett, you know, you're sitting here talking about Texas A&M with 3 losses, still getting back in it, man. It's wild. If you play in the SEC, you can lose 2 or 3 times. If we all beat up on each other the way that we are this year, because nobody separated themselves in the SEC. They haven't. I mean, I said it a couple of weeks ago. I feel like if Georgia played Texas again, then Georgia would win 10 out of 10 of them. And I still feel that way, but Texas, watching them this past Saturday, if their quarterback plays up to par, they can win a national championship. Right. I just feel like parity's, shockingly enough, with the NIL and the transfer portal the way that it is, it's caused parity, at least in our conference, to make everybody a little bit more equal than it's been, it feels like, in years past. And do you have any feel for why that is, Brett? Because Alabama and Georgia coming back to the phrase, a little bit of a shock. Texas coming into the league and being, what we expect Texas to be, but not any kind of world beater.
I don't think you're really scared of Texas. I mean, they played Arkansas. It was, it was a 20-10 game, but I think it was 13-3, and then Arkansas scored a touchdown, made it 13-10, and that was into the fourth quarter, and they finally scored one more time to make it 20. I mean, South Carolina has emerged. I mean, Florida just knocked off Ole Miss, and Jackson Dart looked terrible. And I think it really boils down to it, and I know this is a broken record big time, but I've been asking if Peyton Thorne can win a football game for Auburn, and he did. But his numbers matched what it takes to go win a big game. It wasn't some vanilla 19-27 for 127 yards and no touchdowns, no interceptions. He threw a pick, but he threw 2 touchdowns, and he also threw for over 300 yards, and his quarterback rating was pretty high. That's what it takes to win. When your quarterback performs poorly, if Jackson Dart would have gone down to Florida and played like he did against Georgia, they'd have won by 3 touchdowns. But he threw the ball to Florida more often than he did to Ole Miss. Carson Beck, you want to know why Georgia hadn't been as dominant? Because Carson Beck hadn't been as dominant. His numbers have not been good. He's turned the ball over a ton. You know why Alabama's kind of sketchy all the time? Because Jalen Milroe is just as apt to throw it to the other team, and they have no running game. So look at the teams that play well. Marcel Reed, I know they lost to Auburn, but, man, the quarterback play just really determines so much about how a team performs. And Quinn Ewers, although he's not been a world beater, he's been solid. He's not a elite quarterback in my opinion. So I think that's where the buck stops, is right there at the quarterback position. You get good play out of the quarterback position, you're going to be in great shape to win every football game. You get crap play out of your quarterback, you're probably going to get crap results.
Well, Georgia's probably the best example of that.
They are.
I mean, I think Georgia's the best team in the country when he doesn't play like a dog.
When he plays
he can play like a dog.
He can.
And when he plays like that, even if it's a half, the crazy thing about
against Alabama, he played so bad in the first half.
The crazy thing about him is it's one half to the next with that Georgia team. And if you catch them at the right time, they're beatable. And we watched Auburn play, and we just didn't play all that well. But we were in that football game.
Through three quarters.
We had a great chance if we could have, strung a few plays together and hit a couple of big ones over the top like we did on Saturday night. Could have easily been in that ball game. But it was nice to win. Let's just stay positive here today. You don't get that opportunity too often. It hasn't been so far. And I think what it's going to do is it's going to I think we were going to possibly get some of these guys in the recruiting cycle anyway, because Hugh Freeze, say what you want about him, he's a magician when it comes to recruiting right now. I think he's going to help us close on a couple of these guys. Coming in, walking in the building, got a text that Naeem offered from Parker High School. Really good chance Auburn's going to end up with a flip from him. We've been hearing that for months, but it's more positive today than even before.
He's a priority for Auburn. He's been a priority for Auburn.
And he's a priority position, it feels like, for Auburn. I think the two freshmen that we threw out there Saturday, gosh knows, they're not going anywhere.
No.
Harris and Crawford have outperformed any expectation any of us had. But the guys we got coming in, Winters and Fagans and Alford, those three guys, you're not going to leave them over there long either.
Oh, Lord.
And so it not only –
this is as good a defensive back class as our receiving class was last year.
Agree. And you already had a couple from last year. Now, I don't know that any of us expected Caleb Harris to be what he is.
Oh, no, I didn't. I didn't.
Well,
he's a good player. I mean, we knew he was a good player from a great high school, but he went on anybody's radar to come out and play the way he played.
He wasn't as big a recruit as even Fagans or some of these guys.
Lord, no. We just thought when he was added to the class, we were like, okay, that's a good piece.
It's a great piece at a need high school.
Sure, absolutely.
When we got him from Thompson, it's like, hey, he may not end up playing a whole lot, but you know who he reminds me of? Like Daniel Thomas.
From Robert E. Lee.
Get him late, and then
Daniel Thomas ended up being one. Man, what a great player he ended up being.
That's my point here. You get him late in the cycle, and he ends up on the field after a couple games, and he never leaves. He just is somebody you can count on.
I think Daniel Thomas emerged in that Iron Bowl, and I don't think we won the game, but it was, man, he played so well, and it was like, good Lord, who is this? And then after that, it was couldn't get him off the field. He was probably the best defender we had over there, and I think Caleb Harris and Jay Crawford, they could easily both become that. And you add these guys in the mix. Now, again, Alford hasn't flipped yet, but it's all by all indications that that's going to end up happening. And, you had the number one player. Like, you go back and look at the state of Alabama, that'll pretty much get everybody in the top 10 except for the defensive end from Enterprise, to Auburn coming up this year.
Zion Grady.
Zion Grady, Ohio State.
Yeah, he's Ohio State too.
And so was Naeem Alford. But and look, Zion Grady's a good player, but I mean, we were told by multiple people that Auburn wasn't with Jared Smith. They weren't really looking at Zion Grady. I mean, would they take him? Probably.
Of course, yes.
But I mean, that wasn't a guy they were really pushing for. Now, again, Naeem Alford, number one player in the state and one of the top players overall in the nation. You get him, your class is going to go from 5 to maybe 3. And then you add a couple more other spots in there. I mean, this thing will be knocking on the door of a top 2 class. And, if somehow Auburn, this is Iron Bowl week, so we're going to be talking about the Iron Bowl.
Yeah, but this is what the text I'm getting is Naeem Alford.
That's right.
We keep saying, we love Iron Bowl and we want to win this football game, and I think we got a great opportunity. But, man, I still think that all of us are looking into the future.
Well, we all
We
are,
want to
yeah.
win. We know how big of a game that was on Saturday night, but we're looking into the future and go, man, it sure is starting to feel good.
Well, you and I said that all week. We talked about how big this A&M game was for Auburn, and we talked about how big it was for Hugh Freeze, because Hugh Freeze had not had a quality win since he's been at Auburn. The only one we could come up with is Arkansas, and that ain't a quality win because they weren't very good last year. Now, we went over there and blew them out, but that ain't what you gonna hang in the rafters as a quality win. Saturday night was a quality win. That was a top 15 team that still has everything to play for the playoffs and the SEC. And Auburn came out of the gates on fire. Now again, Texas A&M made some adjustments and they came back in the game and tied it. Ended up taking a lead briefly, and then Auburn came right back though and forced overtime and ended up winning the game. And when you're in overtime, man, when you get to the 2-point conversions, man, it really is just a toss-up at that point. Who's going to make a play and who's not going to make a play? And it just worked out. You know, the things kind of came full circle for Auburn, and they got it when they needed it the most. And it was a big win for multiple reasons. You had all those recruits there. Look, I would have loved to have won 42-10. But we're not rushing the field if it's 42-10. Everybody's kind of leave. Half the students probably leave.
I want to talk about that atmosphere when we come back, Brett. First day that we've actually been on Auburn Blitz at lunch. You and I get caught up because we got podcasts, but a lot of you are just tuning into us this week. I was blown away by the atmosphere at Auburn on Saturday night.
It's exactly what you get when you have a night game at Auburn. It's unbelievable. It's one of the best in the country. All right, up against our first break of the program. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Presley Appliance and Furniture, located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, is locally owned and operated with over 35 years of experience in the appliance and furniture business. Specializing in Amana, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Ashley Furniture, Presley Appliance services what they sell and will make sure you receive top-notch customer service. Call them today at 256-329-9762 or drop by to see them on Cherokee Road in Alexander City. Presley Appliance and Furniture, where they service what they sell.
This is Kathy Holmes with Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Jeff Verner and I opened in East Montgomery 25 years ago and have become the premier butcher shop, wine retailer, and caterer in the River region. We are excited to invite you to our newest location at 2459 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Opelika. We want to become your one-stop shop for the freshest cuts of meat in town, grab-and-go casseroles, gift items, and the best wine selection in the area. Think of us when catering your next event. Check us out online at steaksandwine.com for daily lunch specials and details on upcoming wine tastings and fun events.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
Get ready to rev up your fall with Adams Motorsports in Montgomery. This season, experience the thrill of the open road like never before. From sleek motorcycles to powerful ATVs to versatile side-by-sides, we've got everything you need to fuel your passion for adventure. Whether Polaris, Suzuki, or Kawasaki, Adams sells and services the best. Go to where the journey begins. Visit us today or online for more information. From East Alabama's first family of power sports, Adams Motorsports of Montgomery.
Lake Martin Mobile Detailing is the #1 auto and boat detailing company in Central Alabama. Don't trust your boat or vehicle to just anybody. Hire the professionals. Top-of-the-line ceramic coating, detailing, gel coat restoration, and paint correction gives you the options to take care of your vehicle the right way. Located at 702 McCarty Road in Dable, Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have you riding in style. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or Superior Automotive and Boat Detailing.
We're hammering down high prices at Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. New Chevy Silverado 4x4 crew cabs discounted up to $14,000 off. Brand new 2025 Chevy Equinox compact SUV with high-tech features discounted up to $4,000 off. Enjoy your holidays with no payments until February. Choose from over 500 new and used on the lot or on the way. GlennSmith.com. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. 45 minutes left in the show today. Get your calls in at 256-234-6221. Auburn defeating A&M 43-41. If you look at it, Texas A&M had the ball for 87 plays, man. Talk about and I said this on the podcast yesterday on our reaction show. We didn't really stop A&M. You know, they stopped themselves early in the game. They missed a field goal. Now, our defense did a good job of forcing a field goal, but they missed that. And they were driving down again, and Marcel Reed's worst throw of the night, he threw it right to Jaron Thompson. He just missed it. You know, he just made a bad read and threw it across the middle, and we picked it off. That stopped that drive. You know, I felt sure they were going to score there. And then that's the perfect storm that led to us getting out to a 21-point lead is – they didn't execute, and we did early, and they got in a big hole, but they didn't flinch. They stayed with their game plan, and, you know, Marcel Reed caused problems being able to run around, and we couldn't get pressure with our front four guys. So it opened up some things across the middle, and then when things broke down, Marcel Reed was able to tuck it and run and pick up some first downs to keep drives alive. But thought Auburn really set the tone. Randy, he opened up, kickoff, Jeremiah Cobb runs it out to the 35-yard line, and we methodically moved the ball down the field and punched it in. That was a great start to the football game.
It was. I wanted to go back to the defensive talk real quick, and then we'll go into the first couple of drives because it was a great start to the ball game. Jaron Thompson played outstanding football. He was all over the field.
11 tackles.
11 tackles, had that one pick. Felt like he was in on more than 11. You know, if we were going to go on after the ball game, I remember thinking to myself, man, I wonder how many tackles sitting up here.
Another big pickup in the portal.
How many tackles this guy ended up with in the ball game. But he had a great one. McLeod was really, really good on Saturday night, having 10 tackles, 2 tackles for loss and 1 sack. Riddick made a couple of big plays, but he wasn't quite as involved from a tackling standpoint as we've seen here recently. Malik Blockton had a couple of really big plays, but you know, there was a couple of other transfers for the first time defensive line-wise that they didn't play outstanding, but they made 3 or 4 tackles apiece. Philip Bleedy.
Oh, yeah.
What a great game for him. And Isaiah Rakes.
And he couldn't have picked a better team to have it against. That's his old team.
I know it. He only has 3 tackles, but he has that 1 tackle for loss, and it was a massive one.
Elko came over. Elko found him after the game in the crowd.
Yeah.
You know, even though the field was getting stormed, went over and gave him a hug. I mean, you know, you build bonds. I know he wasn't there last year for that, you know, that team, but Isaiah Rakes, I'm sure he had something to do with recruiting him before he left to go to Duke and getting him into Texas A&M. So, but you know, big games. Cam Coleman was committed to Texas A&M forever, so you knew he was excited to have the performance he had. But Isaiah Rakes played for that Texas A&M team last year, so comes back, has a good game against his old team, so that was good to see.
Was great to see. So defensively, you know, even though we give up, 464 yards of offense, we did have our moment.
The scary thing for me, though, going forward was the 10 out of 19 on third downs. Man, I mean, we couldn't get off the field. And then for us, we were only 5 of 14 on third down. That's the difference in 87 plays versus 72.
Yeah, staying on the field.
Staying on the field,
and
man.
Per play average. Auburn averaged almost 7 yards a play, whereas it's only 5 yards per play. So we actually had 5 more yards total than they did
We
in
had
the
a
ball
lot
game
of big hitters, man.
because we were able to hit some over the top. But overall, offensively, it was a great game plan. When we needed to, we leaned on Jarquez for one of the only few times we have this year. He ends up with 32 touches in the ball game. I wouldn't leave out of Tuscaloosa without him touching that thing 25 to 30 times either. I don't
He
care.
almost ended it in regulation, Randy. Boy, he had just broke out of that and then stumbled and got us to that 1st and goal at the 7. But I thought he was going to break it and get in the end zone and win it in regulation.
But 28 carries, 4 pass receptions, was all over the field, physical, gets better as the game moves on. I hope we're getting back to more of that.
Oh, yeah.
I do get a feel that Hugh Freeze wanted to show some of these new receivers and get them into the game and get them. But, Brett, it wasn't helping. You know,
No.
his need to show the RPO offense that he wants to put into place was not helping. What's helping is when Auburn's able to run the football and be physical, it opens up.
Tempo runs, too.
It opens up the big play capabilities down the field. So, I think he's getting his sea legs under him from a play calling position, and we need him to.
We have to have explosive plays, and every team has to have explosive plays. And, you know, most teams define an explosive play of anything beyond 20 yards. And really, really explosive plays are those big hitters down the field and quick strikes. Texas A&M had a big explosive play that tied the game up when they were fighting back. You know, we just come up and it was a simple dig route, and we missed a tackle. And it was Jaron Thompson actually had a great game, but he came up and missed that tackle. I think it was on Noah Thomas, and he took it to the house. And but again, explosive plays. You can't drive the football down the field 12, 14, 15 plays every time you have it. You got to take shots when you feel like you got them. And Cam Coleman got behind the defense a couple times, which one of those catches, what was it for? Was it about 65 yards? Half of his total in yardage, he had 128, came on one catch. Then he came down and caught that one, you know, inside the 20. Just busted coverages for Texas A&M. And when teams bust coverages, you got to make them pay for it. And Cam Coleman the last 2 weeks should be scaring everybody out there. This is the sleeping giant that has awakened. And he is going to be a dominant player moving forward for Auburn. He could be a dominant player this Saturday. I mean, he's going to have his chances. Ryan Williams will have his chances too, but then you got Malcolm Simmons. And then we only talk about KLS, who's the leading receiver for Auburn. Like, KLS and Ryan Williams have identical numbers. We went over it on the podcast. Both have 43 catches. Both have a little over 800 yards in receptions, and both have 8 touchdowns apiece. They're mirror images of each other, and they both make plays for each other's team. So the difference is right now, Jeremy Bernard not getting the touches for Alabama that a lot of Alabama fans would like to see. There's just like a one-shot to Ryan Williams deal. I mean, Auburn's spreading it around a little bit, man. They're moving the ball around. They got 3 or 4 options in the passing game.
It's better here of late. You know,
that's all I'm talking about.
Yeah, Cam Coleman up to a couple of weeks ago, it was like, wow. Why is this guy only getting 1 or 2 targets a game?
But it's not the case anymore.
It's not, and so it's getting to where if you double team one, you're going to leave the other with a chance to make a play.
But what a great addition for him now to be getting targeted and making plays, because KLS been making plays all year. Now what you going to do? I mean, somebody's going to be open if you like you said, if you double one. So it's exciting that you got more than just one option. So, all right, up against another break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
For air that's cool and clean, call Sense Green. For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sense Green.
Turn to the experts at Sensagreen and find out how to get up to $1,000 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates. Visit Sensagreen.com today to be worry-free when it comes to your home comfort and indoor air quality.
For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sense Green.
This is Kathy Holmes with Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Jeff Verner and I opened in East Montgomery 25 years ago and have become the premier butcher shop, wine retailer, and caterer in the River region. We are excited to invite you to our newest location at 2459 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Opelika. We want to become your one-stop shop for the freshest cuts of meat in town, grab-and-go casseroles, gift items, and the best wine selection in the area. Think of us when catering your next event. Check us out online at steaksandwine.com for daily lunch specials and details on upcoming wine tastings and fun events.
Presley Appliance and Furniture, located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, is locally owned and operated with over 35 years of experience in the appliance and furniture business. Specializing in Amana, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Ashley Furniture, Presley Appliance services what they sell and will make sure you receive top-notch customer service. Call them today at 256-329-9762 or drop by to see them on Cherokee Road in Alexander City. Presley Appliance and Furniture, where they service what they sell.
Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply is your headquarters for all the brands contractors know best. We are your local home improvement store with 9 convenient locations throughout central Alabama. We have a huge selection of Weber and Traeger, Pelican coolers, Milwaukee and DeWalt tools, and other top brands. No matter the project, we have you covered with our high-quality lumber and building supplies. From do-it-yourselfers to seasoned pros, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply has what you need to get the job done.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
The results are in, and Game Day Men's Health in Auburn has delivered. The certified medical team at Game Day Men's Health wants to help you feel better. Text 334-209-3706 to set up your free testosterone check and consult. Results back in as little as 15 minutes. Tired of feeling tired? Text 334-209-3706 to Game Day Men's Health in Auburn. They make you feel better.
Lake Martin Mobile Detailing is the #1 auto and boat detailing company in Central Alabama. Don't trust your boat or vehicle to just anybody. Hire the professionals. Top-of-the-line ceramic coating, detailing, gel coat restoration, and paint correction gives you the options to take care of your vehicle the right way. Located at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville, Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have you riding in style. Call them today at 256-794-2328 for Superior Automotive and Boat Detailing.
J.A. Smith Construction, licensed general contractor and your trusted choice for land clearing and grading, site work, underground utilities, concrete paving, and material hauling. They also do storm drain installations, fish ponds, and slough dredging. Call Alexander at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. No job is too big or too small for J.A. Smith Construction, the top choice for all of your land service needs.
Chick-fil-A is always the best option when you're on the go, but they are also great when it comes to planning your next event, from tailgating to birthday parties to weddings. Call Chick-fil-A Alexander City at 256-289-7955 for catering, or order on the Chick-fil-A app. Make sure to choose the Alexander City location and have your catering order ready to go. Nugget trays, mac and cheese trays, fruit trays, cookie trays, gallons of our famous lemonade or tea, and chilled grilled chicken sub sandwiches, and a lot more options. Make it Chick-fil-A Alexander City for your next event. Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. About halfway through our program today, you can call us 256-234-6221. Get your comments in on Facebook and YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube page out there. Find Auburn Blitz. Those numbers are going up every day, so we appreciate it very much. Patrick said, let Malcolm punt. I'm not opposed. And again, you know, Chapman's been a solid punter up until now, but here recently it's just, man, he had 2 or 3, really 3 in the game against A&M that against a good football team where every play matters, when you crap away 3 like that and you give somebody the short field, I mean, you pretty much just giving points away, man.
I tell you, I was thinking about that today. The hold he had, though, Brett, the field goal hold. Did you see how good that was?
Oh, it was outstanding.
It made up for the poor punts. I hope he gets a lot of credit for the hold that he had, because that ball was behind him. It was on the ground. He's able to get it placed. I mean, you lose a football game if he doesn't make that hold.
On the extra point down there, it was the field goal to go into overtime.
Yes.
That's the one.
Terrible snap.
I saw it, dude.
Yeah.
I thought there's no way he gets that up in time for him to kick it. Because it was right there in front of me on the side.
It was a great hold.
Dude, and that thing went, I said, in my mind, I'm like, well, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're going to miss this chip shot field goal because he can't get the ball up in time. But, man, when he somehow, and he saw it go through, I was like, oh, my God, it is, man.
Yep.
A lot of people hadn't said anything about that, but that was huge right there. So look, you got to live to play another day, man. People, nobody wants to screw up a punt. He sure doesn't. But we got to have a solid kicking game to go to Tuscaloosa and have a chance to win the football game. I think as we go along with the rest of the week, we'll have time to break down, the pros and the cons for both sides. But if it's an even game, which I feel like it can be, it'll come down to special teams, and that leads us to Ian Vacon, man. I mean, kudos to that kid. That first field goal, it was like, okay, here's the walk-on coming out. This is too much for him. Against Louisiana Monroe, it was great, no pressure. Against Texas A&M in a big setting with everything on the line, big-time shank, but then he comes back and nails, that one in overtime. That was a hard kick. Was it 40 yards?
Yes.
And it was on the other hash and had to come back. And, man, he struck the ball well. It was never a doubt. Man, I'm like, good Lord, people don't realize the enormity of that kick.
Well, coming from where he's coming to, it's a feel-good story. Closing down Birmingham Southern's football program, and him just in school.
Right.
What a great storyline for this weekend. Grew up an Alabama fan, gets a chance to go over to Tuscaloosa as an Auburn Tiger and kick. And I do sense that this game could easily come down to special teams. So we all feel a lot better about our situation now. Towns did a great job on kickoffs again the other night.
Team effort, man.
It did. It worked out really good. I wanted to go to the atmosphere, though, and get your take on it because you were down there on the field, Brett. But the whole pregame was wonderful, wasn't it?
Oh, it was outstanding.
I mean, hey, I didn't know how at times, I've been in stadiums where I get a little motion sickness, those LED lights and the flipping on and off. I never felt that way with Auburn. It was never a whole lot of the flashing type, odd feel.
Up and down, really.
But it was dark. Right. And the way God Bless America and the national anthem went through, and I want to tell everyone, I'm in a section that's a couple of sections over from where the visitors sit. And we had a ton of Texas A&M fans around us. They found their way into the stadium. Look, we haven't been as good as we've been in the past.
Sure, they're going to find some tickets.
And you find tickets to get in there, and I had quite a few in front of me. And to watch their reaction to everything that went on in the stadium was really heartwarming. It really was. And to see all of the military things that Auburn does, and to know how important that is to Texas A&M, and then to watch them, and to watch the way that they reacted to all of that. I mean, I feel like, I don't want to put words in their mouth, but they were blown away by the atmosphere. I could tell by how many phones were out, videoing everything that was going on from the Eagle Fly, which is one of the best Eagle Flies
it was great.
I've seen. I mean, it was.
How about this, man? On the sideline, Independence was standing right behind, or it's not standing, the Eagle ain't standing. It's sitting on the arm of the person. But the Eagle was right behind us. And as the national anthem was playing, he was going to town, man. I looked at the guy beside me. I said, does it get any more patriotic than a bald eagle screeching behind you during the national anthem as a Coast Guard helicopter flies over?
Yeah, it was great.
I mean, you could see everybody in the stands was looking over at Independence because he was going off. I mean, it was like, this is wild.
One last thing to mention, though. That halftime, our band at halftime.
Unbelievable, man.
That's look, you know a lot about
show. That's a show, man.
You know a lot about that growing up in and around a very good band that we had in high school. And Brett, that was as good a halftime performance as I've seen. Ohio State gets a lot of acclaim.
They do that too.
And they do a lot of video stuff and a lot of moving parts, but the lighting and the way the lights were down for that, it was outstanding.
There was a rumor that Auburn was going to do the Metallica show for the night, because they did a night show and that won an award. They went to a competition and that won some type of award. But that D-Day,
Paris,
the military theme and all that was unbelievable, man. And I mean the lighting and watching it live on the field, but then looking at the jumbotron, the aerial view to see what was being spelled out and all that was crazy, man. Like you were entertained from the time you walked in the stadium to the time you walked out.
You were.
That was an overstimulated environment for about 4.5 hours.
Yep.
So just loads of fun, ended on a great note. Thank goodness. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about the Maui Invitational tonight. Auburn taking on Iowa State in the best college basketball tournament there is. So that's where the standard is set. All right, up against the break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
This is Joseph Dean with Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory. I am pleased to announce that Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is now open to serve the public at our location on the corner of 49 North and 280 West in Dadeville. Please stop by and see lifelong resident of Dadeville, Molly Kaler, who will be running the office and meeting with families who want to plan ahead and pre-need their services. We are also available by phone 256-750-0381 or online at lakemartinfuneralhome.com.
Bucks Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bucks Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bucksisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
For air that's cool and clean, call Sensi Green. For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sensi Green.
Turn to the experts at Sensigreen and find out how to get up to $1,000 in carrier cool cash rebates. Visit sensigreen.com today to be worry-free when it comes to your home comfort and indoor air quality.
For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sensi Green.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area. Go ahead and mark your calendars, sports fans. The Alabama State games are returning to the Magic City of Birmingham, Jefferson County, and surrounding communities June 13th through the 15th, 2025. We're talking about 20-plus sports open to athletes of all ages and abilities. The 42nd Alabama State games will be something to behold. Mark your calendars now and be ready to go when registration opens. Visit allagames.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more exciting announcements.
When you want quality, selection, price, superior financing, and a pain-free buying experience, look no further than Sons Automotive Group of Montgomery and Auburn. Sons of Montgomery offers the best selection of Kias, Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Ram trucks. Conveniently located on Eastern Boulevard, Sons Ford of Auburn is the region's Ford volume dealer. And when you shop at any Sons location, they will maximize all incentives and financing options for anyone's credit. Whether Kia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram in Montgomery, or Ford in Auburn, Sons Automotive treats you like family because they are family driven.
Welcome back to the Auburn Blitz. Here, a couple segments left. I want to thank Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Great partners here on the program. We've been down to do a live remote from there, our show from there, and in Auburn we'll be doing one in Montgomery coming up soon. They got Thanksgiving. I think it's too late to order. They might be able to squeeze you in. So Kathy, don't get on to me if I lead somebody astray and they call and try to order down there. I just know they do really well. They have to pre-order all this stuff, but their Thanksgiving pre-cooked dinner was for 6 or 12. I think you had to have it in by this Saturday, and then I think pickup is on Wednesday this week by 1 o'clock. So anyway, feel free to call Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. You can tell them I told you to call. Then they can just call me and say, why did you do that? So, but anyway, glad to have Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. And if they can accommodate your Thanksgiving meal, man, the ribs, the burgers, the steaks, the tiger tails. If you have not had a tiger tail, you are missing out. It is one of the absolute best things that you can put on a green egg or anything to cook. So tailgating, you got the Iron Bowl coming up this weekend. So we all going to have food galore between Thursday and Saturday coming up with Iron Bowl parties and stuff like that. So make sure you call on Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. They'll take care of you in Auburn, on East Glen, or in Montgomery down in Pepper Tree. Make sure you go check them out. We can't thank them enough. And then Bunker's coming on board with us. We'll be doing a show from there on December the 13th on a Friday the 13th. Mm-hmm. You like Friday the 13th?
Not
movies?
superstitious about that.
Okay.
My brother wore number 13.
He
it
did.
Worked out pretty good for him.
It did.
So, yeah, not 13. I like
13's lucky for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's not bad luck. So, looking forward to being down at Bunkers and what they're doing. And, man, what a cool place that is. So we'll be talking more about Bunkers as we move along, so we'll get to that. Auburn in the Maui Invitational tonight, the Lahaina Civic Center. Man, I did a lot of research on this because we were this close to going, and we just couldn't work it out with people's schedule, man. I'm like, I could be in Hawaii right now. I could be calling y'all talking about I'm going to the game tonight, but I'm here with you in Alexander City. So,
I'm as frustrated as you are for that.
Man, I tell you, no, you're not. There's no way you're more frustrated. And nobody's more frustrated than my wife. So, especially after I had built that up and said, well, we're probably not going to go to that now. So, anyway, going to be able to watch on TV tonight at 8 o'clock, and Auburn is a 3.5-point favorite, 4.5 on another line, so somewhere around in that 3 to 4 point range against a very good team. I mean, Iowa State's ranked 5th, Auburn's ranked 4th in the country. This is probably, again, the Kentucky Duke matchup was, but from ranked teams, I think Auburn would have to say they've had the two highest ranked team games so far between us and Houston, and now us and Iowa State. I mean,
and more to come.
Right.
Great opening schedule. Bruce Pearl down there with a mic in front of him, selling the Auburn program. You can't ask for better than that on national television and primetime market at 8 o'clock. Man, we just sometimes you got to pinch yourself that man is your coach and doing what
just
he's
glad
doing.
He is.
there's no end in sight. But this is one of those years, though, Brett, that you got to take advantage of what you've got. And I told you this morning, and the one thing I'm watching tonight is I'm hopeful that we start basketball games going to our strength, not just what's given to us. And we need to pound the ball down in the post more often to start games. Now, if we show up out there tonight and hit 6 threes out of the first 8 that we jack up, I'm going to be dead wrong. But I don't want to miss the first 7 or 8, and then we're trying to play from behind when we got to get Janai.
Correct.
The ball needs to go through the best player quite possibly we've had in program history.
No, I agree.
He's going to
with
end
that.
up with every record. If he keeps scoring it and he keeps playing the way that he is, he's going to be up for every national award that there is.
Right.
I think right now he's tops for the Naismith Award.
Why wouldn't he be? I mean, I told you a couple weeks ago, I think he's maybe the best player in the country. I think he'll be right in the mix with whoever else is in that conversation.
See, you got to, there's only a select amount of time that you get somebody like that.
Right.
So Auburn needs to take advantage of that. And tonight, I'm
Has Auburn
hopeful
ever
that
had
we-
anybody win the Naismith Award?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
So, I mean, Jabari Smith was up for it. But, I mean,
Chris Porter was probably close to it, but I don't know exactly where it fit. Somebody help us.
Yeah.
Google that for us and let us know the highest.
But Janai
finish.
Brim has a legit chance with this team to win it. And
But the ball must go through him in key games like this.
It does.
And,
Yeah,
and
you gotta be
the
able to
second half of
perform.
the game against Houston, the ball went through him. And he produced. He didn't shoot the ball well from the free throw line. He's
Right.
got to clean that up.
Right.
But, buddy, he gets to that right shoulder and that left hand up, it's a bucket. And
so fluid, so just automatic, like within that range, it's almost automatic.
Yep.
And so here's some interesting information about Iowa State and opponents Auburn have played or will be playing. Iowa State is currently the number 4 team in the KenPom defensive efficiency category. Auburn plays or has already played the other top 3 teams this season. Duke is number 1, Tennessee is number 2, and Houston, who they've already played, is number 3. So, boy, they're getting challenged in this pre-SEC season schedule. I mean, that's crazy. Monday begins what has the potential to be an Elite 8 type stretch for Auburn's non-conference schedule, depending on how the Maui bracket shakes out. And I've said this before, Auburn could play the AP polls number 5, number 10, which is North Carolina, number 2 UConn, and number 12 Duke teams over the next 9 days. Nobody's got that schedule.
I love basketball.
That's unreal.
Got so
How
many
many premier games in 9 days can you ask for?
Well, and how many as a fan could you look forward to watching?
That's unbelievable.
That's the thing about basketball I love. You get a couple of times a week to get up for these things.
Are you serious right now? I mean, North Carolina, UConn, and Duke all in a row? What are you doing, dude?
I just hope we win our fair share.
I mean, yeah, win at least one of them. Win one of them. I don't care. Take your pick. That'd be great. So, I don't know. That's crazy. That is. We keep blowing our own minds with this basketball program. All right, up against the final break of the show. Stay tuned. One final segment right after this.
J.A. Smith Construction, licensed general contractor and your trusted choice for land clearing and grading, site work, underground utilities, concrete paving, and material hauling. They also do storm drain installations, fish ponds, and slough dredging. Call Alexander at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. No job is too big or too small for J.A. Smith Construction, the top choice for all of your land service needs.
For air that's cool and clean, call Sensi Green. For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sensi Green.
Turn to the experts at Sensigreen and find out how to get up to $1,000 in carry or cool cash rebates. Visit Sensigreen.com today to be worry-free when it comes to your home comfort and indoor air quality.
For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sensi Green.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama. Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
Go ahead and mark your calendars, sports fans. The Alabama State Games are returning to the Magic City of Birmingham, Jefferson County, and surrounding communities June 13th through the 15th, 2025. We're talking about 20-plus sports open to athletes of all ages and abilities. The 42nd Alabama State Games will be something to behold. Mark your calendars now and be ready to go when registration opens. Visit alagames.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more exciting announcements. Final segment here on the Auburn Blitz. Again, I want to thank everybody for joining us every morning at 8 o'clock or 8-ish. Sometimes it's 8:05, sometimes it's 8:15. But we try to get on before, 8:15 and get after whatever's the hot topic regarding Auburn or maybe high school or anything that you might be interested in that we feel like is worthy of talking about. And we stay on for sometimes 25 to 50 minutes in the morning, and depending on how much interaction we're getting. And, this week we'll be talking about the Maui Invitational, obviously, as it moves along throughout the week. And then the Iron Bowl will be topics, favorite Iron Bowls. We do this every year. What's your favorite Iron Bowl today, on this day? In 1988 was the 53rd Iron Bowl. Auburn won that game 15-10 in Birmingham. I remember that like it was yesterday. In 87, Auburn won 10-0. 89, Auburn won 30-20. And then 86, they won 21-17. That was that 4 in a row there. At the end of the 80s, Auburn won. And then for you Alabama fans watching out there, 85 was obviously the Van Tiffen game. And JJ and I talked about that. Jelks and Jackson both went over 200 yards rushing in that game, and I think the lead changed 4 or 5 times in the fourth quarter, maybe, or in the second half, maybe. I'd have to go back and but it ended up, heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching. Van Tiffen kicking that field goal the way he did, and then Auburn kind of repaid the favor the next year in 86 with that reverse. It was a kind of a out of sorts play, and Lawyer Tillman was trying to call a timeout, and the referee didn't see him, and they run a reverse, and he scores, and crazy.
Brent Fullwood was out of his mind in that game. He probably had 130, 140 yards rushing, and capped off the season that he rushed for well over 1,300 yards and ends up being what the number 2 pick in the NFL
Green
draft.
Bay Packers.
So that was a great year. But defense was the name of the game back then, Brett Pritchard. I think that 15-10 win, Auburn only gave up 35 yards rushing.
That's right.
In the ball game. A few of those later, the shutout game, Alabama couldn't muster up anything offensively. It was just a different day and age back then.
3 yards in a cloud of dust.
It was, and if you scored, you held on to it. Sometimes we worried Pat Dye was going to hold a little bit too much.
And they did several times and cost him probably the LSU game where we dominated them, the earthquake game. I mean, we really dominated. You go back and watch that game, LSU didn't do squat that last drive, and then they just pretty much went into say, we're just about to air this thing out, and they moved the ball down the field. And Auburn had chances throughout the game to really put distance between them and LSU and didn't do it. Lost 7-6.
Oh, I remember it real well. Still a nightmare. Probably cost us a national championship for sure.
Was that Tommy Hodson?
Yeah, it was Hodson.
God.
Fuller caught the ball.
I know it.
Out of the backfield. Yeah, it was a nightmare.
Yep, and then you go on to play Florida State in the Sugar Bowl. And, those Sugar Bowls back then, I mean, the Deion Sanders Sugar Bowl, the interference, and then they didn't get called. And then you end up tying Syracuse in that game with McPherson at quarterback. They were pissed off. But, I get it. But Pat Dye said, look, I ain't just throwing this ball in the end zone and give y'all a national title. I ain't getting out. We about to kick this thing. I'll go home pissed. And he said, I ain't going to be pissed because we came back and tied the game. But, that was just bad to finish games that way, wasn't it? Hey, you talk about anticlimactic. I remember being at the Tennessee game at Auburn in 1990 where they jumped out to a big lead, and I think it was 26-9 or something. We fought back and tied that thing at the end. And, you walk out of the stadium like, all right. Just went in there and hung out for about 3.5, 4 hours. And
do you like the overtime setting right now for college football?
I do.
Way you like the 2-point conversion?
Yeah, because, man, you get to the third overtime, and these teams are getting tired and, starting over from 25 every time. Enough's enough.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had some – what is the record, 11 overtimes right now? In college football, was it that Arkansas and – was it Arkansas A&M that went into 11 overtimes?
Your memory's better than mine.
It was like in the 70s, man. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, somebody do something. And so you give everybody a fair chance in 2 overtimes. And then when you get to the third overtime, it's like, all right, forget this. We ain't staying here another 2 hours. Y'all can get the ball to 3, and we're going to have a shootout. It's like soccer. That's what it comes down to. It really is adapted to soccer overtime. Because soccer, you go into extra time, and then if you don't score in extra time, dude, then you go to penalty kicks. And that's what this is. If you get 2 overtimes to drive the ball down and out-duel the other team, if you can't do it, and if you both match each other, now we go to PKs. Now we go to a sudden death, 1 play each at the 3-yard line. I like it.
Makes you more aggressive.
It does. I mean, you're just – a lot of times teams are waiting for the other team to make a mistake, and that's usually what ends up winning the football game for somebody.
It was Saturday night.
Yeah, he dropped the ball.
Drop ball.
The play was perfect. When I saw it, I saw the quarterback leave and go over there and set up, I went, oh Lord, here we go. And then, of course, he takes the snap, runs right over there, pitches it to him. He comes back rolling with his momentum to his strong side, and the receiver was there. It was a tough catch. Now, this wasn't some I'm going to lob it in the end zone. He hit him. You got to catch the football, but he was going to the ground to catch it, and it just bounced off his chest. I'm glad it did.
Big game tonight, though. They'll close out with college basketball, Brett, man. Looking forward to waking up tomorrow at 8 o'clock and talking about this one. It's the beauty of basketball. It's not just waiting on a Saturday for a post-game reaction.
Oh, man, we'll be talking about the first Maui Invitational game for Auburn tonight against Iowa State. ESPNU, I believe, is where it is, if I'm right. Yes, ESPNU at 8 o'clock. So make sure you tune it in, and we'll have the reaction in the morning after the game. So everybody stay tuned. We'll love to have you join us on the Auburn podcast, on the Auburn Blitz podcast in the morning. So, all right, we'll be back here tomorrow, same time, same place. For Randy, I'm Brett saying we've enjoyed it. We hope you have. See you tomorrow.